Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Well, hello. Good morning. Long time no see. What is up, everybody? Let me fix my camera here real quick. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. So glad you are here. It is August 30th, 8:55 in the morning. I'm so glad you can be here. Listen, I know we didn't have a show on Friday. We did have a show on Thursday. However, I did not post the audio record. I did not post the MP3 because I felt like the content just wasn't that good. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I was dragging. It was really short. It was about if golf is a sport or not. We can talk about it again if you want. Golf isn't a sport. It's a skills game, just like golf. Okay. Sorry, just like pool. That pretty much sums up the whole podcast. So, anyways, welcome into today's show. Today's live show. We are live currently at we are currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you're listening on the MP3 afterwards, that means you missed us when we're live. So make sure you follow us on one of those platforms and get involved with the show. This is a show where the audience actually gets to be a part of the conversations. I haven't had a guest yet. I will have a guest, but so right now it's just me talking, and it's just me talking with you guys. On previous shows, y'all are starting to get the hang of this, and some of y'all are starting to see what we're trying to do here, as far as like how we're gonna have this show look. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing it down a note real quick. I don't write a script for the show, but sometimes I write little notes on sticky pads like this, and then I put it right here, just so I have my talking points for the day. So first off, happy freaking Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. It was my birthday this past Friday. We just happened to have a team dinner for the football team on the same day, so that was just happens to line up like that. Had a good weekend myself. Got to connect with some people that I've never connected with before from school. Had like a little football tradition that we kind of got to take part of. And I played football for a college, if you guys don't know, for here in Southern California for Saddleback College. We just entered week 1. So fall camp is over. Week 1, first game this Saturday. If you would like to come out and watch, it's this Saturday, Saddleback College in Mission Viejo, California. It's going to be the first game in the new stadium. So a lot happened this weekend, sports and politics wise. College football officially opened up, so let's just give a round of applause at football. Football starting. Let's go. All right. So my Texas Longhorns didn't play, but they play the Louisiana Raging Cajuns this Saturday. But there were some other sports that happened. Jake Paul fought Tyron Woodley. If you don't know, Jake Paul is a YouTuber. They started boxing about 3 years ago. His fight before yesterday was versus Ben Askren, who was let's just say this, past his prime MMA fighter. Okay. So Tyron Woodley is a UFC champion, multiple time defended, and he is gonna go down as one of the greatest MMA fighters, pound for pound of all time. And him and Jake Paul had a boxing match yesterday. I will say this about the whole entire event. This is by far the best boxing event that Jake Paul has taken part of. Okay. Typically, he's been on different networks that I don't know, seem kind of ghetto, honestly. Like, that's just not good boxing network. But this time around, there was legitimate boxing matches that happened. The fight between, let me look up the names here. I don't want to mess up their names. It was the 140-pound Ivan Baranacevic, I don't know how to say his name, versus Montana Love. That was one of the greatest. That was a really good boxing match. That was one of the best boxing matches I can remember of recent. I gotta plug in my headset. It's talking to me, saying it's low battery. That was a really. You should go back and watch some of the highlights from that fight because that was an amazing boxing match. It went. It didn't quite go the distance. Montana Love ended up knocking out Ivan. And then we had the heavyweight fight that ended in the first round between Daniel Dubois and Giuseppe Cusimano that ended in the first round. And then the absolute war that happened at the 126-pound females, Amanda Serrano versus, I can't remember her first name, but Mercado. That was an absolute war. Okay. Actually, I think that heavyweight bout went in the second round. It might have been in the first round, but I can't remember actually. But they came out swinging in that heavyweight fight. And then obviously the Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley went the distance. Jake Paul won in decision. I will say this. Tyron Woodley was his first real threat as a fighter. Okay. Tyron Woodley came out and he demonstrated that he had knockdown power when it comes to being a boxer. There might have been a situation where Jake Paul, if you know anything about boxing, knocking someone down is a big deal and it counts for points, especially if the fight goes the distance. Jake Paul, you could have say got knocked down by a punch, but he got saved by the ropes. It looked like it didn't happen. It looked like Paul was a little off balance and he got kind of like pushed down from when I saw the replay. It didn't seem like Tyron Woodley actually it didn't seem like Tyron Woodley actually knocked him down. So we'll see. After the fight, they were talking trash again, and they like kind of agreed to a rematch based on different circumstances. Whether it come to fruition, I'm not really sure. But Jake Paul looked like he was a real fighter out there. I will say this is the first time he fought past 2 rounds because he's knocked out both of his the 3 previous opponents in 2 rounds or less. You're gonna hear a echo for a second. I apologize. So we'll see what happens. I think Jake Paul even said after the fight he didn't feel like he was 100%. I agree. He looked I don't know, like sluggish, I guess is like the word. I don't know. Like he wasn't following up his combos very well. I feel like maybe he was a little worried. Like Woodley, he even said after the fight that Woodley punched really hard. Okay, so we'll see. I don't know. I want to see Paul fight an established boxer, even if it's amateur. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell if Paul's the real deal. Honestly, he's a legitimate athlete. I just don't know if he's doing this boxing thing for money. He did say in an interview that he was tired of the YouTube, what's up, Jake Paulers? Like he said that he was tired of that. So I don't know if he's doing this just to make money, but a change of scenery. If he's just being a showman, I don't know. I think he's a legitimate athlete, but I've never seen him. I don't know if he's a legitimate boxer. Okay. I saw this next headline that I'm going to share with you guys this morning. I just opened up my internet browser. I wasn't even looking for news. I was trying to open up my Facebook account. And I saw that, first off, here's a little GIF from Tyron Woodley. If you guys want to see it on the live show right here, make sure you can see my screen. You can see this little GIF right here of Woodley actually tagging up Jake Paul a little bit. Boop. There was a couple times where Woodley had Paul, kind of wobbled a little bit. Not wobbled isn't the right word, but kind of stunned. And there was a couple times Paul had Woodley stunned. So I don't know. Woodley looked like he was gaining his confidence as a boxer in the later rounds. So I don't know if this is going to be a one-time thing for Woodley or not, but we shall see. Okay, back to this headline that I was talking about. I turned on my web browser to see this headline, and I had to just talk about it for a second. And if you don't think this is a huge deal, if you don't see a problem with this, then I don't know what to tell you. Let's watch a different show because this show ain't for you. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because I want you to see this headline. This is from the Wall Street Journal. I checked with a couple of sources. This seems to be true. Okay, I didn't read this whole article because you gotta like subscribe to see the whole article. But I checked other sources and they're seeming to say the same thing. China limits online video games to 3 hours a week for young people. New regulation will ban minors from playing video games entirely between Monday and Thursday. Let me say that again. China is going to be banning video games for minors between Monday and Thursday. China has a new rule that the country's hundreds of millions of young gamers. Sorry, China has a new rule for the country's hundreds of million young gamers. No online video games during the school week and 1 hour a day on Fridays, weekends, and public holidays. They're trying to limit the quote-unquote youth video game addiction. There's several ways I can talk about this. Okay, let's just state the obvious. I'm not sure that there is a youth online video game addiction, more as a lack of a parenting pandemic or epidemic, whatever you want to call it. Okay, your kids do what you allow. I have a now 7-year-old stepson, and I have a now 1-year-old dog. They do what I allow them to do. I'm the man of the house. I'm a parent, both of a fur baby and a real baby, of a human. And my stepson would love to play video games all day, but I don't allow him to do so. So I step in as a parent to make sure that he's not just playing video games all day. Video games can be addicting. I'm not gonna lie to you. Until you can raise a young person to manage their time, you're gonna have to manage their time for them. That's just how it goes. You don't rely on a 7-year-old to get himself up and get himself dressed and get himself to school on time. No, you do that as a parent. In 3rd grade, I was doing that all on my own, but that was because my dad raised me to do so. And in 3rd grade, had my own alarm. I was getting up, getting myself breakfast, getting myself dressed, and getting myself to school by walking to school on time. There's multiple different things that like bug me and worry me about this one. I bet people on the left see no problem in this. You know why? Because they're like, oh, kids are addicted to video games. Okay, even if that is true, why aren't you as a parent limiting this? Why aren't you as a parent mitigating this? Why are you relying on the government to tell you what to do? And we see this and we think that this won't happen in America, but it very well can, because America is not having any backbone when it comes to keeping their freedoms. I'm not even a young person anymore. I think this is a little extreme. No video games for between Monday and Thursday. What if your kid's sick or something? Or what if it's like summer? You're not gonna play video games on a Tuesday when there's nothing else to do? Or like in Texas, it gets 110 outside, so your kids in Texas are probably not gonna want to be outside at 110-degree heat in the summer. Okay, but I am pro limiting video games for kids, especially young kids. And I still have a problem with the government telling me how to parent. Not only is the government overstepping the boundaries of a parent, that is literally a demonstration that they can limit anything for anybody. Okay? And I don't know how they're really going to enforce this, to be honest. I know that China has an absolute control over their internet servers and that kind of thing. I'm sure that kids are going to figure out a way around it, but the fact remains that this is an overstep of government. And if you don't see a problem with this, you're part of the problem. Okay? More and more you see governments all across the world, in America and, places like China, Russia, Venezuela, Argentina. I don't actually know about Argentina. I just wanted to say it. It's a fun name to say. But it's probably happened in Argentina and Brazil. all these governments overstepping their power. And we have to, at some point, recognize that what China's doing in this situation is overstepping. Because what if they have the power to do that? Then what's the power of them limiting to for you as an adult to have limited screen time on your phone or limited time hanging out with friends because they're worried from COVID? So China's already locked down its whole country before. It'll do it again. I think this is a really big deal, and I don't know why this isn't on the cover of more news sources right now. People are talking about Biden checking his watch during one time he's receiving soldiers. I can't say. Look, I haven't been a fan of what Biden's been doing, but I think people are grasping at anything right now to just dog Biden. I get it's a little disrespectful, but if you just glance at his watch for a split second, I do that all the time out of a habit, out of a tick, not because I'm trying to get somewhere. He's the freaking president. He probably has a schedule to keep. He doesn't know his own schedule because Biden's losses all get out, but hey. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of stuck on this China thing, thinking that the Chinese government thinks they're better parents than parents. It really gets to me a little bit. I think that people should be left alone and parents should be able to parent. Well, if you're a parent and you let your kid play video games all day, he's going to turn out to be like probably a shitty human probably, and that's on the parent. Okay. But now the government thinks that it's going to, you might as well, when you have a kid, you might as well send it off and then get assigned to parents from the government instead of actually like loving your own kid at that point. Like, this is getting ridiculous. There's other things that China is doing, not just this. If you want to look it up, go feel free. Because we're going to move on to the next talking point. College football. Yes, it is that time of the year. College football has officially begun. NFL starts next week. And this is a happy time in America because there's 330 million Americans, and I'm pretty sure there's 500 million Americans that watch football. Just kidding. No, but it really seems like there's something about fall that is just a really good time of the year, and I'm excited for. Not only am I getting to play football in the fall for the first time in a very long time, I get to play for school, I get to play college, I get to play on Saturdays, but it's a time when, the pumpkin spices are back at Starbucks or whatever. Them pumpkin drinks, them fall drinks are at Starbucks now. We get ready for Thanksgiving. Well, first we got to get through Halloween. And then, Thanksgiving comes Christmas. It's kind of like the end of the year just kind of like rolls together into this one holiday period that everybody seems to love. But we do recognize that there are people out there that struggle during the holidays. And I don't want to forget about those people, but for the most part, this is like the start of when the weather starts to cool down in Texas, not in California because there's no weather here in Southern California, but there's no seasons rather. But we start to, the thunderstorms kind of start to come to an end in Texas, and right now we do have that Hurricane Ida. So our thoughts and prayers out to the people that are dealing with Hurricane Ida. I think Biden this morning just declared, maybe it was late last night, declared it an emergency or whatever you call it. I think there's been one reported death from Ida so far as of this morning when I checked. It's made landfall now. It's now a Category 2. It got up to a Category 4 with 150-mile-an-hour winds. I want to address this real quick. I don't like what the media is doing with this hurricane coverage that I'm just seeing on the surface. For one, I feel like they should do a little bit better, like talking about the storm itself and not swaying it to make it seem like this is. I'm already going to tell you what's going to happen. They're gonna somehow make this a global warming push, an environmental issue push. Okay, I've already seen headlines. I have about the strongest recorded winds ever. It's not true. It's not even as strong as Katrina. It just so happens that it's 16 years ago 16 years to the day that this hurricane made landfall. This has not been the busiest hurricane season. 2020 was the busiest hurricane season, supposedly. I don't really know how you measure that. Is it amount of tropical storms and hurricanes, or just hurricanes? Not totally sure, but the records will say that 2020, as of now, is the busy, quote unquote, busiest hurricane season. So that doesn't really support that data, but they're kind of pushing. They're kind of like the way they're portraying these storms. The storm is that if it's the worst storm ever, it's a bad storm. Like, it's, don't get me wrong, it's a strong, powerful storm, but that happens every year. It's the Gulf of Mexico. It's warm water. That's where hurricanes come from, is the Gulf of Mexico. It's not all hurricanes, but like warmer waters is what broods those hurricanes or really strong tropical storms, okay? And they're making it, I can already tell, they're making it seem like it's the worst storm ever. And there's been people kind of calling out these reporters in the field. The reporters in the field are dressed up in this like super suit to protect them from the storm. And they're like, there's a dumped over trash can, and they're like standing there like yelling into the microphone, and they're like acting like the wind is pushing them over. And then there's just a dude out there in a t-shirt standing right next, like goes in the camera shot and stands right next to them. It's like, the storm is bad, folks, but it's not the worst storm ever. You're going to hear, mark my words, you're going to hear some environmental pushes about how this is part of global warming and like we're affecting the storms. I'm not saying that that isn't happening at all, but it's not happening with this storm. I can tell you that. This isn't the strongest storm ever. It's a category 4. It's not even a category 5. I actually not sure if it hit land as a category 4. I know I saw within the past 48 hours, I couldn't tell you when I saw it, but it went from a class 3 to class 4 for like a second. I don't really know for how long or anything like that, but I will tell you that this is not the strongest storm ever, okay? I had the headline for the China thing up, and we're not talking about China. So yeah, this isn't, I just wanted to just touch on this because I don't want you guys to think that I'm not recognizing that we got some storms going on, and we do. Okay. But back to what I was talking about, this is a good time of the year. Tomorrow would be September 1st. Or is tomorrow? Is it 30 or 31? I never remember. Is there 30 or 31 days in August? I can never remember. There's 31 days in August. So in 2 days, it'll be September 1st. It's opening day. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to learn, because September 1st is the opening day of dove season for most of the country. First day, men can go out and hunt. Men and women can go out and hunt and do manly things. Girls go out and dove hunt too. I've dove hunted with girls, women, females, people of the opposite gender of me. The other of the two genders that exist. The two only genders. If you live in the suburbs of anywhere in Texas or Oklahoma, I believe Arkansas opens up on September 1st as well. If you step outside, you'll hear faint shotgun blasts, which is not just a symbol of freedom, but also that doves are falling out of the sky. You get to have some good eating. You get them doves, you skin them, and you like have the dove breast. You put a little bit of jalapeno on the bottom, wrap it in bacon, maybe a little bit of cream cheese in there, put it on the grill. Delicious. I have this recipe that I made for a while, actually, where I would fillet, or like however you want to call it, like fillet the dove meat off the breast, which makes like little nuggets, okay? But what I would do is I'd batter them in like some sort of like this like recipe I kind of made up, and then you fry them, and it makes these like dove nuggets, or like deep fried dove nugget things that are like chicken nuggets but dove. Yo, fire, F-I-R-E, fire, bro. You need to try it. If you're a hunter listening to this, do what I just said, okay? Very good. So, but anyways, September 1st, opening day of dove season. Great day. And then as September progresses, I think it's almost like the NFL kind of helps with this, but I think what is it, October? Is October the breast cancer awareness month? Which month is it? NFL breast cancer month. What month is it? It's October, right? I think it's October. It's October. Uh, so then the NFL players wear pink. It's kind of like a way to bring things together. I remember doing that in high school. We would wear pink on things just to kind of be apart. And it was like a fun thing. My mom actually had breast cancer when I was in high school, so it was like, you know, it was I took part in the breast cancer awareness thing. Um, and then I think there's a salute to service in November, and leads into Thanksgiving, like I said, and then the other holidays for other religions, and it's just a good time of the year. And this is a time I'm going to encourage everybody to really dive. This is the time more than ever, coming off of this 2 year pandemic, apparently, more division than ever. We need to push people getting together and breaking bread together, having meals together, celebrating together. You guys might have different political ideologies, but you guys have the same religion or different religions, you know. Um, I don't necessarily celebrate other religions per se. Like I don't participate in Hanukkah. Like I don't do the kind of because I'm a Christian, so I do Christmas. Okay. By the way, I do recognize that Jesus was not born on December 25th. Okay, I recognize that. It's just the day we celebrate Jesus' birth. Okay. Um, just like all presidents weren't born on the same day, but we have one day to celebrate all the presidents, and that's President's Day. Okay, but um, we I will partake in like a meal, let's say with a Jewish friend, or I have before. I don't actually know what the religion was. Um, it was like an Indian friend of mine, and I'm not gonna even pretend like I know what they were celebrating because I didn't really understand the family. I was just with a friend with some friends, and we were at this like dinner thing, and we just broke bread with them, and it wasn't about for us, for me, it wasn't about celebrating the religion. It was more about like coming together as a community, and I want to push that this year. I want to encourage people. I had a Friendsgiving last year, and let me tell you something. I did Friendsgiving my way. We had it the day before Thanksgiving, and I thought, people aren't going to want Thanksgiving food 2 days in a row. We did cook a turkey because we had a free turkey. My wife cooked the first turkey ever, and it turned out pretty decent, but it was a small turkey. We had about 15 people in my little tiny house. I know you guys can't see my whole house right now, but let me tell you, my house ain't big. I had 15 people over. We crammed them all in here. We figured out a way to make it work where people saw elbow room and it wasn't uncomfortable. And I cooked a ribeye for every single person. I cooked them one or two at a time on a cast iron skillet. And let me tell you something, I cooked really good steaks, and all these turned out pretty freaking fantastic. Everybody was raving over it. But we had, I cooked like real American food, like steak. We had some vegetables, we had salad, and just a healthy freaking dinner for everybody. But did it cost me a pretty penny? Sure, but I wanted that Friendsgiving. I wanted people to come together and like hang out as like, none of us were family, and there's people there that don't have family where we live, and it wasn't about necessarily being thankful for something or eating turkey and eating stuffing. It was about coming together and just being around each other and introducing the new people. And I had people that would come over after we even got done eating, like, hey, we're having a good time, can my boyfriend come over? And said, yeah, bring him. You know what I mean? Like we ended up having a campfire in my backyard. It ended up going from people coming over for an afternoon, like early dinner, to people staying in my house till 9 or 10 o'clock at night, making friends and memories that'll last forever. And that's why I want to encourage this fall season is let's push back this politics. Okay, we've had our tragedies, we've had our differences. We all know that Biden is, if you voted for Biden, I don't care. Like, you messed up. You probably regret it. You can't ignore the fact that he has dementia or whatever is wrong with him. He's mentally declining. But let's focus on making the community we live better. Invite a neighbor to eat. Say hi to your neighbor. Okay? Maybe try to put together a little block party. Maybe have a cookout at one of your neighbor's house and invite just neighbors. Watch the game together. If you're in the same neighborhood, you probably root for the same team. Root for the local team. Root for other teams. Like, have a rivalry week. It doesn't matter. Bet on some games. Just have fun. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave off on that. We're about a half hour in here, so let's just wrap it up. Okay. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I really do. Make sure you you do what you gotta do to help me fight this shadow ban that is inevitably coming. It's coming. Don't forget. Okay. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Let me rewind this track here. Listen, if you like this track, if you like this beat, feel free to use it. You can use it on any like live show, any podcast, any sort of anything you want to do. My buddy makes this music, hires people to make this music from the ground up, and he wants you to use it on your live shows, your podcast, your video game streams, or whatever. It's copyright free, DMCA free, whatever, all those words in it, it's free. Okay, so feel free to use it. Make sure you like, comment, share on any videos you see from JJ's live show because it helps boost the algorithm to get more people in here. Okay? Today's episode will for sure be uploaded. So if you're listening on Spotify, reminder, make sure you follow on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch because that's where we go live. You can type in JJ's live show. That's J, capital J, all caps live show. Okay? I managed to anchor down that name for all platforms. Don't ask me how I did it. Okay. I appreciate you stopping in. Make sure you do what I asked. That's the only way I ask for you guys to support, okay? I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking you to help boost the algorithm. Like, comment, share. You guys are the one that makes us grow. Okay? And I really appreciate you guys. So let's get some more people in here for tomorrow's episode. Tomorrow will be another good one. All right, guys. Peace. Peace. Hook 'em.